Believe it or not, there are a ton of things that you are stressing about, worrying about, fretting about that do not matter 1 ounce the moment you graduate high school. So today I'm going to break down what those are for you so that you can put those items in perspective, forget about the stress that you are worrying about when it comes to those things, and focus on what really matters when you're in high school. In today's video, I'm sharing with you some things that do not matter at all in high school that might blow your mind because to you, they probably matter the very most, or at least you think they do. So I'm sharing these with you as your life coach, as somebody super invested in your success, in your future, because I want you to be able to keep these in perspective. I truly believe that it's gonna help you relieve some stress. So diving right in, let's talk about a big one. What you wear. This truly does not matter when you are in high school. And I know that it is very cool and awesome and super fashionable to be on trend, and it can help you boost your confidence. But if you had the top name brands, if you had a different outfit to wear every single day, that doesn't matter 1 ounce the moment you graduate high school. Now, it might get you a little bit of that clout of people think, wow, like, oh, she's got like such great fashion and like maybe she's got a lot of money. Like, I get that there's some things that people might assume about you because of that. And if fashion's your thing, like, go for it. But my point of this is like, don't stress about having the name brands. Don't limit your fashion because you're trying to fit in. I did that a lot. I kind of have this little weird fashion. I love to say that I'm like a goth princess. I love hard rock, but I also love like really girly things. And that wasn't really in when I was in high school. So I suppressed those things that I really liked to wear. And I kind of matched my fashion more to match those like trends, when really you should wear what you feel comfortable in and what you feel confident in and what you like that expresses your personality, because nobody's going to remember. Nobody is going to remember what you wore in high school. Let alone, can you remember what your best friend wore yesterday to school? Probably not. So I hope that yes, you look your best. Yes, you wear clothes you love. And girl, I love clothes. Like, I have so many clothes that I love and adore, but I don't let other people define that for me. So don't let people define that for you in high school, because what you wear really doesn't matter. This item that does not matter is gonna blow your mind, so hear me out until the very end, okay? What doesn't matter? The electives you take. Now, I say that with a big caveat because you are like, what? But I say that in the fact that I remember getting my schedule and just stressing and worrying about and like pondering and like praying over like, what classes should I take? And after you filled in your requirements to graduate and you've made sure that you're pushing yourself and, you know, taking English and math and your science, your electives should be really fun, and you should take the electives that you want to take. Not the electives that your boyfriend is taking, not the electives that your best friend says that you should take so you can be in the same class, not the electives that are super easy. Because your electives are just fun and to explore new hobbies and passions, like, they really don't matter as much as we get hung up on them. And so my challenge for you is to let the social pressure of cool electives to take, or this teacher's super easy, or I'm just gonna do home release because that's the cool thing to do and I don't wanna exert myself. Make your electives count. Make them count, because I desperately wish that I had taken a step back and realized that, oh, I'm signing up for this class just because all my friends take this class. Really, I'd actually rather do automotive tech, right? Which would have served me so many thousand times over, as I had to learn the hard way about cars, when if I had just taken a step back and realized, hey, it doesn't matter if I have this class with my friends, I'm gonna take a class that I'm interested in, that's gonna serve me in my life, that I wanna try and explore. So electives don't matter when you're just stressing over them and doing them to like fill a social gap. So turn that on its head and make them count for you. Take electives that you want to take. Don't sign up for the same elective without having a purpose behind it. If you feel like you're just doing something out of obligation to friends or to your parents or anything like that, be sure you really check those motives and make sure your electives are working for you so that they do matter. This one is big, and what does not matter in high school is the type of wealth you come from. Now, I'm just gonna say it doesn't matter if you have the latest clothes, which we've already talked about. It doesn't matter if you drive a super nice car. It doesn't matter if you have a really big house and your parents are really well off, or if you get to go on really crazy trips. Like, yes, I wish wealth and prosperity on every single person I meet. And I understand that in high school, you can feel this little bit of pressure. Like, have you ever felt the house comparison pressure? Like the first time you go to a friend's house and you're like, oh, wow, their house is 10 times as big as mine, right? Their house is twice as big as mine. Or, man, they've got a lot of really cool toys in their garage, you know, like razors and skis and just like all the things. And you can start to feel like, oh, well, do they want to come over to my house? Because my house isn't this cool and my house is tiny. And, you know, we can really start to get wrapped up in this idea that we're less than because our parents don't make as much money as their parents make. Or maybe our parents are even divorced or something like that. And I just want you to know, like, throw those worries, throw those fears out the window. Because I remember thinking that, and then I realized that I had this epiphany one day. Like, I had this like best friend in the whole world and this core group of girls that I just thought were amazing. And I realized that my perception of them didn't change when I went to their houses. Like, I didn't think, oh, well, Julie's got a really small house, so I don't like her as much as I like Sarah, who lives in a mansion. You know, like, don't feel that. And I also would encourage you, like, don't be shy to share what you have. Like, I remember thinking to myself, well, like, oh, I'm not going to have everybody come over to lunch at my house because my mom worked. And so it's not like I'm going to have this really awesome spread that a stay-at-home mom of some of my other friends would provide, right? So, you know what? It doesn't matter. And your friends don't care. The only person that cares and notices is you. So let those fears and apprehensions go out the window. And the next time you're getting caught up in the house comparison and, man, they have more money or their mom and dad have more time than my mom and dad, just stop and realize, hey, I don't love my friends less because they don't have the things that I have. Okay, this is one that truly does not matter. And I want you to remember that every time this happens to you. But it really does not matter if you get asked to dances or not. Now, I know that in the moment, it totally matters and it totally sucks and it totally hurts. And, you know, I remember not getting asked to like the first dance that I was old enough to date and go to and being like super devastated and feeling like it meant something about me. That it meant like, oh, guys must not like me, or I must not be pretty enough, or, you know, there must be some reason I didn't get asked to prom. There must be some reason. And I'm telling you that there probably isn't. Truly, like, getting asked to dances is kind of like this social concoction. Like, there's a strategy for if you have a boyfriend that you're dating. There's a strategy for if you don't have a boyfriend that you're dating, right? And it's kind of about, are my friends going? You know, are my guy friends going? Do they know I'm available? Do they know I'd like to go? Like, so many things. And so I want you to know that the moment you graduate high school, nobody cares. This one's gonna surprise you a little bit, but if you were popular or not, your popularity, while it can affect your day-to-day life at high school, and I will admit that, and that's why I've done so many videos on how to be popular, how to increase your popularity, because it feels like the most important thing right now. But the moment you graduate high school, nobody is ever gonna ask you like, oh, hey, were you the most popular kid in high school? Oh, like, were you an SBO officer? Oh, do you have lots of friends? Those just aren't questions that we ask people, and they're also just not questions that most of us care about, right? So while I think it's vastly important to have friends and to have a support group at school, and I've got lots of videos to teach you how to do that, this idea that I want to be the most popular person in my high school and that it matters, we really got to put that in perspective, because the moment that you graduate high school, regardless of how popular you are or not, you're just like everybody else. Okay, the next item that really doesn't matter in high school is if you date a little bit or a lot. Now, when it comes to high school, I believe that it is vital to know how to ask somebody on a date and how to be a good date by the time you graduate high school. Now, depending on your personality, on what your parents have taught you, your life experiences, you might need to go on lots of dates to figure that out. You might need to go on 2 dates to figure that out, right? There's no graduation of oh, now I know how to be a date. So some people already know how to do those things and don't need to have that experience of dating a lot of people in high school, because maybe they're really focused on other priorities. So if you feel like you're not dating a lot of people in high school right now, that is totally okay. That's another thing that people sometimes in social circles they'll ask oh, did you date a lot in high school? Or oh, did you have boyfriends in high school? But it's more of just an informal conversation thing than it is oh, well, that means something about you. If anything, the individuals that I have talked to, men, women, grandmas, mothers, fathers, they all have shared a similar sentiment with me that once they found their person, their spouse, their partner, that they really wish that they hadn't dated other people in the fact of serious relationships. I remember one young man was telling me, he's I really wish that I'd kind of only kissed this person because I love them so much. It's kind of weird to think that I ever liked somebody else like that. And while that's life experience and we all wish that we'd only met our true love when we were 5 years old, we have to go through that experience of figuring out what it's like to date people. So while there's value in knowing what I like in a date and how to be a good date and how to ask somebody on a date, it doesn't matter if you date one person, if you go on 2 dates, if you go on no dates, as long as you know how to be a good date by the time you graduate high school. That's all that matters. Okay, so tell me what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Did you agree with my items that I feel really don't matter the moment you graduate high school? So I hope that you'll take these tips in context and that you will, take some of these things that I've suggested to you, like making your electives count and putting your popularity into perspective so that you can really utilize the time that you are in high school. I share this with you not to downplay high school at all. It's a vital and vibrant part of your life. But I hope that these things can give you perspective and remind you that you get to decide what you want to wear. And whether your parents have a lot of money or a little money, it doesn't matter, because what matters is you. So wishing you the best of luck, babe, in high school. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. So Abbi J out.